What's up, YouTube? Team Movies here with the new horror sci-fi film called Freaks in theaters now. Since the film stars Emile Hirsch, who I think is a really underrated actor. I quite always liked Emile Hirsch as an actor. And he's been some really interesting films that I've enjoyed over the years. So today I decided to do my 10 favorite Emile Hirsch movies because he's a cool actor and yeah, he's been in some really cool high-profile films that I do quite get kicked out. So anyway, with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Emile Hirsch movies. Alright. Okay, coming in at number 10 is going to be the film The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is directed by Troll Hunter director Andre Overeatdahl, who by the way also recently put out a Scary Story to Tell in the Dark, which was really great by the way. Anyway, now in the film, it actually takes place like Autopsy of Jane Doe takes place at a morgue, and it's about this father and son, and the father's played by Brian Cox, while Emile Hirsch plays his son. And so, they're pretty much the team of coroners who, until an unidentified, highly unusual corpse ends up coming into to the morgue. They discover a buried. They pretty much discovered buried in the basement of the home of a. They find the corpse, at a brutally home of a brutally murdered family. As the one who got murdered is a young Jane Doe, who pretty much is well preserved with no visible signs of trauma and all. And so the father and son duo, pretty much spends a night trying to put pieces together of the cause of her. To find out what the cause of her death was. And so, the two men pretty much begin to uncover the pretty much secrets of her life, and they soon a very series of terrifying events end up happening. And so, it turns out that Jane Doe may not actually be dead after all. And this is one creepy film. I mean, this is actually a better version of that recent possession of Hannah Grace film that got released not so long ago. Autopsy of Jane Doe. I mean, I was a little late to the party with this movie. I saw it on Showtime a couple years back, and I quite enjoyed it. I mean, a horror film about pretty much a dead corpse who may not be dead after all, and there's a supernatural elements that's happening around there, and yeah, it's a really crazy flick. And I really like the chemistry between Brian Cox and Emile Hirsch. Their chemistry was pretty good in this film. And Andre Overeatdahl did a pretty good job at directing. I mean, if you guys haven't seen The Autopsy of Jane Doe yet, it's pretty underrated. It's a really good little flick. Alright. Coming in at number 9 is going to be the film 10,000 Saints. Now, this is a really interesting film. It's about this young teenager named Jude, played by Asa Butterfield, who is trying to reconnect with his father named Les, played by Ethan Hawke, and it takes place in 1987 Manhattan. And so, Jude's friend named Teddy, played by Ivan Joga, ends up dying of a drug overdose. So Jude finds himself befriending with a group of friends who are against drugs, alcohol, and also profanity and sex and all that. And he ends up meeting this young woman named Eliza, played by Haley Steinfeld, who is a pregnant 16-year-old with Teddy's child. So pretty much him and Ethan Hawke's character Les are pretty much forced to be her rock as they struggle to her pregnancy here. And so Emile Hirsch's character is Teddy's half brother, who's a tattoo artist who pretty much begins having a friendship with Jude, and he also ends up having kind of a intimate relationship with Eliza and all. 10,000 Saints is a really nice little film. I mean, it has some really nice music behind it. Great performances. I mean, the film had some really great performances by Asa Butterfield. Emile Hirsch was terrific in this movie. And yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen 10,000 Saints yet, it's really good. Very underrated, by the way. I mean, hold on. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, yeah, 10,000 Saints is a really underrated little gem. I mean, I saw the movie like in 2015, and no one barely talked about it. Like, it's a good film, but yeah, it kind of flew under the radar when it got released. But yeah, if you guys haven't really seen 10,000 Saints yet, it's really good. All right. Okay, coming in at number 8 is actually more of a guilty pleasure of mine, by the way. It's not that great of a movie, but I still get a kick out of watching it. And that is the Wachowski siblings film, Speed Racer. You know, based on the iconic TV show starring Emile Hirsch, Susan Sarandon, you got John Goodman in this. You also had people like Christina Ricci was in this film. You had Matthew Fox. I mean, yeah, Speed Racer. It's very weird and all, and the like the cross animation. This was kind of odd, but I really got a kick out of this movie. I mean, Emile Hirsch as the Tyro of Speed Racer was great. I mean, his relationship with the monkey in this. His relationship with the monkey here was pretty cool. I mean, it's like I said, it's not that great of a film, but it's actually one of those films that, and you could probably look at should be a guilty pleasure type film. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen 2008 Speed Racer yet, it's kind of fun. I mean, you'll get a kick out of it. All right, coming in at number seven is a most recent one, and that is Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, obviously, this is my favorite movie of the year so far. You Now, Emile Hirsch's role is not really that big as you'll think, but he mainly plays. He actually plays the celebrity hairstylist who ends up like dating Sharon Tate and all, and of course Sharon Tate's played by Margot Robbie there. And there's time where Charles Manson came to the Tate house, and Emile Hirsch's character kind of turned the guy away and all. But actually, in real life, Emile Hirsch's character actually ends up getting killed in real life. But this, of course, was totally different than reality. But yeah, I quite liked Emile Hirsch in this. I mean, I kind of wish they did more with him, but I still thought he played the role really well. And I also liked one of his chemistry with Leo DiCaprio's Rick Dalton character. I mean, yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was awesome. And Emile Hirsch was pretty. Anyway, coming in at number 6 is going to be the film Taking Woodstock. Now, the movie takes place in 1969. I mean, another movie with Emile Hirsch in it that takes place in 1969. So, I mean, I think Emile Hirsch wish he was born in 1969 because he did 2 movies that takes place in 69. So, I find that pretty funny. But of course, Taking Woodstock stars Dimitri Martin as this young man named Elliot Tiber, who ends up dividing his time between Greenwich Village and the upstate Ramshackle Motel named El Maquino. And so, like, Emile Hirsch's character in this is named Billy. His name Billy, who's like a Vietnam vet who's very good friends with Eleanor. And Billy, has like PTSD and all. And I thought Emile Hirsch played that role really well. Like, I quite like his chemistry with Dimitri Martin. You also had a few other good actors in this. Like, you had Jeffrey D. Morgan, Liam Schreiber, Henry Goldman. You had Eugene Levy, directed by Ang Lee. I mean, is that really Ang Lee's best work or anything? But I still quite kick out of it. I mean, yeah, the characters are a little not so likable because, I mean, people in Woodstock was not that likable at all. I mean, if you guys knew anything about Woodstock, people mainly drank a lot there. They smoked loads of marijuana. I mean, there was some good music. Like, I heard some of the Woodstock music and all because I saw like a recent documentary about Woodstock, and that was one crazy festival. But anyway, if you guys never seen Ang Lee's Taking Woodstock yet, it's a really good one. Kind of underrated, by the way. I mean, the movie actually turned 10 this year, and not really many people really talked about. So it is what it is, I guess. All right. Now, coming in at number 5, I'm going with the Oscar-nominated film. Anyway, my number 5 pick is going to be the Oscar-nominated film Milk. Now, the movie takes place in 1977, and of course, it's about Harvey Milk, who ends up becoming elected to San Francisco Board of Supervisors, and he becomes the first openly gay man to be voted into the public office in America. And so Emile Hirsch's character in this is named Cleve Jones, who's an American AIDS and LGBT rights activist, and he ends up having like a interesting relationship with Harvey Milk. And I know Emile Hirsch as Cleve Jones was really great casting. I mean, his chemistry with Sean Penn was great. I mean, the movie, was also featuring people like James Franco and all. I mean, Milk is a really interesting flick. And sad to say, Harvey Milk ended up sadly passing away from a gunshot wound, and really sad. Like, this is a tragic story, but that aside, it's still really great film. I mean, it.
What are you doing?
YouTube.
Just like casually in the street
Yeah.
doing YouTube.
Yep.
What on YouTube?
Oh, movies.
What are you doing?
Oh, top 10 videos.
Top 10 what video?
Oh,
On the Wi-Fi doing your video.
yeah. Actually, it's a pre-recording.
Oh.
What's your video about?
Oh, not sure if you guys know an actor named Emile Hirsch, but I'm doing a top 10 video of him.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's been stuff like Alpha Dog and loads of interesting
Is he in
films.
TV?
He was just in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so there's that.
Are you into TV, modern TV?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Peaky Blinders? Write it down, watch it. It's the greatest show ever made. Honestly, if you're into cinema, it's the greatest production you'll ever see in your life. End of. And you will never disagree with that unless you're stupid.
Alright. Anyway. Alright. Anyway. Sorry about that, guys. A little interrupted there. But anyway. As I was saying about Milk. If you guys, haven't seen Milk yet, it's a really nice film. I mean, the Oscar-nominated film. Sean Penn scored an Oscar. I think he won an Oscar for this. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that aside, Milk is really good. Anyway. Alright. Now, coming in at number 4, I've been talking about this film for a while, and that is Killer Joe. I kind of already mentioned this, but if you guys see Killer Joe, you are not going to want to look at another drumstick the same way. The chicken drumstick. You're not going to want to look at a chicken drumstick the same way. I'm not, like I said in a couple of my videos about this movie, I'm not going to change details about the drumstick scene. If you guys seen Killer Joe, you know what scene I'm talking about. But anyway, in Killer Joe, which is directed by William Friedkin, who gave us The Exorcist, It stars Emile Hirsch as this 22-year-old drug dealer who ends up hashing his stash of stolen drugs from his mother, and he has to come up with like $6,000 quick, or else he'll be dead as well. And so, like, his father is played by Thomas Hayden Church, but he also ends up hiring this hitman named Killer Joe Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey, and he's pretty much like the stubborn gentleman who pretty much would like do pretty much do the job for up pretty much for upfront fee, and all he really needs is to like Chris actually ends up hooking his young sister Dottie, played by Juno Tempo, with the hitman, and that's pretty much all the hitman wants is mainly the dude's younger sister. Which, I mean, it's a little sickening right there, but I mean, Matthew McConaughey, I think it's one of his greatest performances in recent years. I mean, that drumstick scene, by the way, if you guys, like I said, if you guys seen Killer Joe, you'll know what scene I'm talking about for drumstick. But anyway, you also had Gina um, Gina Gershon was also in this. I adore Gina Gershon. I mean, if you want to see more of Gina Gershon, this is definitely a film you'll see more of her in, if you guys know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, if you guys haven't seen Killer Joe, it has a weird ending, but it's actually really cool. I mean, it's a really dark, like, it's part, like, you could say it's part comedy, it's part crime, gritty film. Really cool film. To go check out Killer Joe if you guys never seen that. Alright, coming in at number 3 is going to be the film Into the Wild. Of course, it's based on a book. It's directed by Sean Penn, who of course worked with Sean Penn worked with Hirsch on like a year after this movie got released in Milk, and it's pretty much about Emile Hirsch plays like this 22-year-old freshman named Christopher McCandless, who instead of walking out of his privileged life and he decides to walk into the wild in search of adventures and all. You had people it is based on a book. You also had people like Marsha Gay Harden was in this, William Hurt, Catherine Keir was in this, Vince Vaughn, Kristen Stewart. You had Zach Galifianakis. I mean, he pretty much goes through he pretty much spends the whole week and days in the water. I mean, it is quite into the water after all. And yeah, I mean, he has an interesting heroic adventure throughout the whole stuff. I mean, he pretty much tries to balance the between man and nature and all. Into the Wild, I can't remember if Emile Hirsch got an Oscar nomination for this, but if he didn't, I think he deserved one. It's probably one of his best performances yet. Like, Emile Hirsch, I mean, he mainly had to, go to crazy stuff throughout the whole film. And I thought Emile Hirsch was magnificent in this. I mean, I never read the book, to be honest yet, but the movie is. But Into the Wild, it's really great. If you guys never seen Into the Wild by now, give the movie a shot. It's a really good one. Alright. Now, coming in at number 2, I'm going with a really funny comedy, and that's The Girl Next Door. I mean, The Girl Next Door is a really funny romantic comedy right there. It's about this teenager played by Emile Hirsch, who actually ends up falling in love with his next door neighbor, played by Alicia Cuthbert. And here's the catch: Alicia Cuthbert's character is actually a porn star, so he ends up, falling heads over heels for his porn star neighbor, and they end up having like a relationship with one another. I mean, it's a really nice rom com. Emile Hirsch and Alicia Cuthbert I know they were both great in this movie. And you also had Timothy Oliphant was also in this. You had Paul Dano, Chris Marquette, James Remar was in this. I mean, really nice little rom-com. I mean, if you guys never seen The Girl Next Door yet with Alicia Cuthbert or Emile Hirsch, give it a go. It's a really nice, cute rom-com. great performances by both Hirsch and Cover. I mean, you'll really enjoy it. I mean, a movie about a guy who ends up falling in love with a porn star. I mean, what more could you ask for? You have Alicia Cover as a porn star, so there's that. All right. Now, my favorite Emile Hirsch movie of all time goes to Alpha Dog. I love Alpha Dog. I mean, this is a crazy film. I mean, it stars Justin Timberlake as this Los Angeles drug dealer named Frankie, who pretty much comes from a good family, and he also owns pretty much several cars, and he enjoys partying with his friends. And so Frankie is 19 years old when his friend named Jake, played by Ben Foster, who welches on debt, and so Frankie and his boys kidnap this Jake's 15-year-old brother named Butch, and he ends up holding him as a marketer, and so you really got Emile Hirsch's character, who also joins with Frankie and the gang on the murder and all. I mean, Emile Hirsch was great in this. He also has the guy has an interesting lovemaking scene with Olivia Wilde, so he's a winner in my book with this film. I mean, crazy to think that Alpha Dog is from the same director of The Notebook. It's crazy to think that. But also, you had people like Bruce Willis with hair was in this. You had Sharon Stone, the late great Harry Dean Stanton. Anton Yelchin was in this. Really great cast members. I mean, it's a really tragic story because stuff what happened in this movie really happened in real life. But Alpha Dog, it's a really great film. I mean, if you guys never seen Alpha Dog by now, with Justin Timberlake, Ben Foster, and all, give it a go. I mean, this was literally the movie that made me go, hey, this Justin Timberlake dude could act. I know Justin Timberlake was really great in this. So, yeah, if you guys never seen Alpha Dog, such a really good one. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. 9. 10,000 Saints. 8. Speed Racer. 7. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 6. Taking Woodstock. 5. Milk. 4. Killer Joe. 3. Into the Wild. 2. The Girl Next Door. And 1. Alpha Dog. Now, Emile Hirsch has been in loads of other movies as well. His other credits includes Lords of Dogtown. I love Lords of Dogtown. He was also in A Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg. Twice Born he was in. The Darkest Hour. Not to be confused with the Gary Oldman film, but this is like a sci-fi flick. He was also in the movie Savages. He was in Vincent and Rocky with Zoe Kravitz. That was actually pretty good. He was in that not-so-good Jared Leto movie, The Outsider, which was a Netflix release. He's been in loads of other great stuff. I mean, it's shame that he's such an underrated actor. When you say the name Emile Hirsch, just any person, no one doesn't really know who Emile Hirsch is. Which, those two guys that that kind of talked to me and was asking me why I do it. I of course told him that I'm doing a top 10 Emile Hirsch movies. The dude did not know who I was talking about. So, such a shame that he's a great actor, but he's so darn underrated. And I kind of wish he becomes more in the spotlight as an actor. And I think he even deserves an Oscar nomination in the future. I think the dude's awesome. So, yeah, if you guys haven't seen any Emile Hirsch movies, give some of them a go. Give Into the Wild a go. Sorry about that, guys. Give Into the Wild a go. Give Alpha Dog a go. This guy's awesome. So, anyway. But let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Emile Hirsch movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here, See Movies, signing off.